Yeah, focusing on the Gambit for sure. I mean, that character you don't want to see play, but now this is going to be kind of a larger topic towards the end. You know, how many teams have practice on a lot of the Gambit comp. Meanwhile, Black Cat being removed for Sentinels, very different.
100 Thieves actually saves the Rocket Raccoon as well. Interesting. They're doing what
maybe these two teams
I think Swamp
practicing
Gaming
against each other
did.
so far. Now can't remove that Rocket Raccoon because they focused on the Black Cat, and I guess the priority for them and the Black Cat, or not removing Black Cat, Shib, it must be that there's other better options, whereas Rocket just feels so powerful. Like, what's your kind of take on it as Star-Lord gets removed?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that as this season keeps pushing forward, teams are going to pick up the Rocket play. I do think it's not a bad decision at all, but it is still going to be what's comfortable for your teams. We see it is going to be locked in on both sides. Cat's been taking a step up as we see the ban out there from Sentinels, as well as Star-Lord. I think those are great bans. Phoenix just statistically has looked better in terms of wins and
both
just performance.
Phoenixes are banned
Cat
too.
can completely change the structure of maps. We're using that portal to just break down
Daredevil
defenses
or Black
that would
Cat,
just
right?
shake up the way you're used to playing a map. So never a bad ban.
Star-Lord, wow.
Yeah, and the tough part is,
so
100
Thieves is giving Sentinels
Mantis,
Black
right?
Cat
because
and
you
Daredevil.
mentioned it before. They played that triple comp, and now they can't. But maybe they can finally, explode upon this 2-2-2 style. White Fox obviously is still available, so they could still play it alongside the Loki on this map. As they like to prioritize that, maybe it shifted from week to week because we're still early on in the new meta, and I know not a lot's changed. But as we end that ban phase, Shib, I don't know. Like, it does feel like things are still changing pretty rapidly week to week.
It's the moment of truth.
I'm with you. It's the beauty
what
of
do
this
you
game
guys
right
think
now and how
Ryan
and how
Mazing is
fast
playing?
these
Do you
changes
think
come
he's
into play,
playing
how many seasons
DPS?
come out, how many changes, the balancing,
Or
you
do you think he's playing support?
I think there's a lot of strength in Ignite of being a team that learns the meta quickly or defines the meta. And I think if you're able to do that, teams are going to want to follow suit, but they maybe don't have the practice or experience
support, I think Sentinels
that you're used
loses.
to running. We can see now the packs going out, but I believe that is likely just to set up the team for some of that armor. We use the Penny team with Rocket, which was in the past. It's not there anymore. Excuse me. So
is
Rocket instead is giving everybody
support.
that 25 bonus health. So we might see a portal play with the Penny. I'm not quite sure. Or potentially Domi just wants to run it on this map, which is beautiful.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he could. It's always a potential, right? But we'll kind of see as it mixes up later on. They actually do. Oh my God. Okay. So what's the plan here, Shiv? You think? What are they gonna do to win on 100 Thieves?
So the idea here is you just win the chomp war. You pull them right into a penny mine situation, and you ensure that even if he was going to chomp after the fact, it allows you to bite first. That Dino's already missing a ton of HP, so I believe that's going to be the idea. Dongmin going to early set up on the left side and already take this space quickly, and I'm loving this, and I'm sure all four of the penny mains are loving this as well.
All four of the penny mains are loving this. You heard that, Emily? You're one of them.
I mean, obviously we have the Groot on the opposite side for Vinny. Sentinels obviously trying to play around you. Sure, you talked about him in this sort of 3-1-2 style, but again, they have to keep this pressure up. The problem is these mines are getting deleted now for the side of Sentinels. 100 Thieves doing a good job focusing it as well. They have that triple comp with the Mantis of their own, so they should be able to do good damage. But Usher, again, trying to focus on this front line, build that ultimate up very quickly. Already has the Glortrox in a moment, but has to go big with it because it's up first fight. TTK brought to the mines that you talked about earlier, Shib.
Yep, there it is. There's that example. The great combination. There's always been a question of who's the better, other Vanguard to have, and it looks like at the moment it might be Penny. The res comes through though already from Self, and everyone's back in the fight. You can catch that. Actually, it was the copy from Winnie onto Self to bring them back. They're running some unique stuff here with Adam on the field. The bond comes out. Crimzo's able to find TTK once again, and even after that commitment, still holding on to this point. Sentinels are locking in Vinny now with the prison. There's the combination of the Kraken impact. Down goes the It's Jeff. Bonet up in the sky with Usher, bringing him back with the BRB. The Sia gets deleted instantly. Oasis finds one, and it's still back and forth, but all the while, 26% and climbing here for Sen.
Yeah, he commits to that. No way!
Nice, got your trade though.
Res 2 from Self because they've extended the fight, but Self has to walk back from spawn, so not going to be in the fight, and Sentinels actually win it. So they're gonna have to switch things up. He's going over Punisher now. This is such a weird start. TTK's over to the Emma. And this is still going to be comps that are going to be working against them in terms of Sentinels. I think Sentinels have done an excellent job in the middle of these fights. They'll just have to go ultra aggressive.
Hi, Jay3.
Whereas Sentinels, I mean, they can keep playing it back, right? Make sure they just delete everybody in the sky.
Yes, that is called a scam.
It seems like Self has not gotten a lot of value so far in the Adam Warlock. So excellent work from Sentinels. Now they're going to
don't give anyone online any personal information,
chat. We have to wait again
I don't. It's 2026. I don't know why I'm saying this still, but you should not give anyone.
This is beautiful. I guess we have our answer here, folks. It looks like Penny with Dino is a big problem, and TTK is forced to switch off. Self gets taken out from Usher.
Oh, I really do like that Penny nest up there, and then it goes all the way down to the floor. I like that.
Though numbers evened out for the moment. This is something we've seen in the past, actually, from Na'Vi today. They actually used this on Museum, so this is definitely a strategy that is seeing some heavy play from some of the top teams, and personally love to see it. Oasis finding Vinny. Flamay gonna bring Dongman back. The Lena goes in heavy with the Punisher. Goodbye to Amazing, but still 90% here from Sentinels as Usher finds another pick.
I was wondering when Self-Soul's going to come out, but again, they haven't been able to take advantage of this Adam Warlock. They go aggressive with that, also finally going past that choke point. But again, nobody caught in it. At least they have to wait for somebody to get back from spawn as well. So 100 Thieves, excellent job in that res last second to bring back Vinny. But they're going to have to keep it up now. You have to come back into this fight against Penny Parker, which shouldn't be too difficult, I would say, for 100 Thieves side, but they did commit some ultimates in the previous one, and Sentinels have the Glard truck. Future's been big. Maybe they can rely on Vinny's wall to block it off, but again, the backside, Vinny brought in to the front of Sentinel's side.
This is some really unique play. Definitely a bunch of different stuff. The Glartrox goes out, pulls him in. The Strangling Prison on the back line. Vinny flying two, and it's both strategists. Huge play. Can they get a third? The BRB able to find Oasis. Talena takes out Crimzo. Oasis onto Talena.
Good wall by
How
Vinny.
many trades can we get here, folks? 100 Thieves, almost 40%, trying to get some answers back. Sentinels just needs to build up a huge ultimate party here to make something happen.
Yeah, unfortunate for Sentinels that the Glartrox brought in the Groot to connect with that Strangling Prison. And for sure, you know, Glartrox is maybe not known for being vegetarian
Jay, can I get your credit card? I need to buy my fish some water to help them breathe. Just do your fish a favor. Put them in the toilet and just flush it.
If they use it again on Adam Warlock or the Mantis to go aggressive. Amazing over to the Moon Knight. Flamay has to get past this choke point, does so. But now they're trying to kind of get counter-comped a little bit on the side of Sentinels. Control this high ground, though. Set up the Moon Knight again with that ultimate. Maybe force them into a rough spot with that res. Reconnect onto everybody with the hand of Conchu.
Beautiful Marvel Rivals here, just switching up to try to find counters.
Amazing on DPS?
It's working here as 100 Thieves have already gained a ton of this percentage back. We see Amazing just dealing a ton of damage, climbing up on that all-charge 80% and climbing. Crimzo with a commitment goes very low, still able to hold on even through the rampage, but forces out the ult to stay healthy in that moment. There is that final judgment. Delena able to take out Oasis. It's huge. Goodbye to the invisible boundary. Dogman goes down. From able to bring Oasis back, but it doesn't matter. Delena with a quadra, trying to make it a penta.
Wow, chat, 100 Thieves win.
Enough to end this. What a return.
Yeah, this portal's gonna be too late. Surely 2%, 1% Crimzo. He did have somebody touch though from the right side. It was Oasis who was invisible, so we didn't see him for a second. Wow. They come out now, huge save, but they have no Shroud ults. They need Flamay's ult in the last second, and they use Amazing's hand of Contra to get out this choke point early.
Buys them the space that they need to hold on. There's the commitment now, using the thighs out with the cries out as nobody gets seduced from the side of
Thighs out with the cries out.
Gets forced, and here's that res early on to get the team back in the fight.
Brings Delena back into it. Brutal committed from Vinny, but unfortunately Delena was being brought back by the res, so he's not going to be there. Then he brought back into the fight as well from those reses. But no, okay, wait, hold on. It was Self that went down late. Does have his own self-res, so they're all still here. No ults available just yet. Sentinels, though, with Usher. Could be big with the ultimate in the moment. Has to go with this Glartrox to find multiple people. Green's out as well, so he can find the KOs. Diamond's used, but TTK finds Crimzo into that melee fight. Goes aggressive into the cockpit and try to find him. No! The Glartrox! But it comes back into the bag. Not deleted. Just God! So from the inside. Hand of Conchu's up in a moment. Catches on to Vinny, but no, he goes down! Self in the flank after coming out.
It's a whiff after a whiff after a whiff, bro!
Towards this point with
They're all just missing their ults!
Keep everybody held in the shotgun from Delena.
This is insane. The C is out now, too. Sonic Seduction once again from TTK to Lena onto Usher. It's a matter of time here. 100 Thieves have found the return solution, and they take map 1. What a battle here from two storied teams.
Jesus. Why, dude, 100 Thieves are just like heart attack team incarnate, man. Like they're just playing.
Hey, that was a really good game, though. Hey, I saw Penny.
In their sort of team
I never thought I would see a Penny in pro play. I mean, they held it all the way to 99. They kind of did get reverse swept, though.
But team where they don't like to play those.
That was a pretty good game
and stuff.
That was a pretty good game.
I mean, maybe unless you have Self playing a lot of that Daredevil.
Pretty good round so far.
Like at first, it felt kind of strange, right, Shib? But it ended up working out for 100 Thieves. Essentially,
and now they're going Storm.
Kind of awkward composition as, I don't know, traditionally, I don't know about you, but it just feels like this triple comp wasn't necessarily like a hard counter to what Sentinels were doing. But
hey, what's up, DPK's dad? You're finally here.
Yeah, I think it was just more of a surprise factor.
How you doing? How you doing?
I don't know what has been seen in scrims, but running the Loki copy into the Karmic Revival is kind of something that we've seen in the past, but not much in this new season.
No more
we
Storm.
See Winnie on the Storm for the damage boost right now. Oh, there's the switch. Yeah, I was gonna say, like they just get out the door there.
Wait, Ryan Mazing on Iron Man?
Okay. All right, let's see if it works, Jim. I mean, like, there's a chance, right? If you play this corner, you play these walls in the height. You know, this is like Sentinel's thing. They play the friggin' Penny.
Oh, you're good.
First.
You're
now
good.
They're
You're
going
good.
over to Iron Man's second round.
I hope the
on a
new
map
job
where
is
it's a little bit more
treating you
open.
well.
But because they're running the Punisher, I don't know. We'll see if they just get kind of walked on first. They have the Punisher ult alongside this Mantis, which last time they went aggressive and found everybody with Delena.
You can see Rai just using these structures. The natural cover gets deleted instantly, though, as
Delena
finds one, trying to make the second come through. Rez is out, though, and that is kind of a decent situation here for Sentinels, only losing one with a BRB instantly. After that combined ultimate there, Millennia was forced out with a Soul Resurgence as well. So now it's all about can Vinny land the Strangling Prison. This could be big, trying to get rid of that Buddy barrier, and there it is. The ultimate goes out. It doesn't seem to land, though. Just out of range there from the front line, and can they get a pick still? They do. Millennia finds one. Goodbye to Crimzo on the Dino, and they're still taking the space, walking it back. Dongman drops to Lena. 30% here for 100 Thieves and going up, but the invisible boundary from Oasis could be enough for them to retake. The Glartrox gets committed, able to find Vinny. Now as Dongman cleans that up, Rymazing in the sky set with the Iron Man. As Dongman gets a second, Rymazing finds Self, but the res is out for Winnie.
Huge res. Huge
To
res.
break all these shields. I think Vinny as well trying to avoid that Devil Dino shield. That's why he went for it on the left side. It looked a little awkward. Goes in the sky. Shields removed. Green's out. So many invulns to have to chunk through. Winnie as well gets that soul bond. Barely lives, but it took everything to find Winnie. And again,
wait, they got another res. Oh my god.
Again, this is like the old seasons when we saw infinite res combos with the Mantis team up. Yeah, everybody's getting beamed down by Iron Man. It feels like Infinity War, but really in this fight because there's an infinity amount of freaking 100 Thieves against Sentinels as they get cleaned up by the beams.
Rymazing killing 3 people. Uh-oh.
Claim the point.
You know what? Meta Schmeta. It's whatever now. Rymazing with the 3-piece here off the res, which honestly, I thought the res was going to be fight winning on the return instead. It's just going to buy even more time with the point from the side of Sentinels trying to get back that percentage. 24% now. Dongman holding on to ultimate. For this next fight, TTK can answer it. It's both going to be that Psionic Seduction. It's all about who gets a little bit more value here. Delena, very close to that final judgment once again. And I am loving the change in compositions from these teams and finding success with them.
I mean, Dongman switched to the Emma. He has ult available too. They've been able to disengage ults this time. Pause comes out, so referee decides to take, you know, a little bit of a break, maybe a breather for everybody as we kind of come back to it in a moment. I imagine the online stuff, but you can see Sentinels are setting up for this counter engage. They want to run away from
100 Thieves was scared, chat. 100 Thieves was scared of the Iron Man. They're trying to ice the kicker. They got rolled. Now they're trying to be like, hey, you know what? Rymazing's doing a little too well right now. Let's do a little pause right now.
Is Dongman gonna get caught out in his ult from Delena, who's been crazy good every time with this damage boost? Again, it just seems like it's a hard pocket your hit scan playership this meta.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on the table, but again, I'm looking at the meta and I'm like, I don't even know what it is anymore because I like how it's been so different. The Rocket play today's been huge. The double Atom is now back on the table, which I don't think I would have put on my bingo card by any means. And it, you know, it was
Jay,
cool to see against the Dino
Someone's
matchup.
mouse probably disconnected.
It's very difficult to go against
someone's
Penny Dino.
headset, if it was wireless, probably died.
Front line, it doesn't matter who, and you just delete
maybe
from there.
someone has liquid diarrhea because they had Taco Bell for lunch and they thought it was a good idea. Maybe they had to pause for that. I don't know.
Them off the Penny, and now we're playing crazy stuff where we get to see Iron Man and now Punisher as the focal point. Dude, this is exactly what I'm trying to see, and this is great Marvel Rivals right here.
Yeah, this is well, the game is
maybe
really
DPK's
evolved,
controller
from the early
probably
days, and it just feels like there's so many things you have to worry about as a pro player, and you can see that. Like, there's so many shields involved. First of all, like you have Invisible Woman boundary, Invisible Woman shield. You have Devil Dino shield. You have Emma Frost with her own shield. You know, and there's even more. The Groot walls were involved in that previous fight too, and also you have people that can remove CC if you're Emma in the diamond form, right? So there's so many things that kind of you have to keep track of, and then with the cooldowns being some of them as short as they are, you have to like find that tiny window to throw in your ultimate or do whatever, because some of the abilities, especially with overhealth and what it's up to now, it could be hard to find a window like we saw. I bet that Vinny Groot ult is probably going to get clipped, but I don't even know. Like, there's so many situations where he's not going to get a good Groot ult because it's going to get blocked by Devil Dino as we re-enter the game in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because honestly, the positioning wasn't horrendous for the back line, but it was just
there
like
we go. We're back. We're back. We're back.
It was like an upstairs situation, so it didn't collide with the back line just due to the LOS. And we see commitment now as we're back in. Dongmin starts off immediately with a Sonic Seduction. TTK doing the same thing. Who gets them walking first? Who's seduced? It looks like nobody. As we see Delena, though, finds the first pick onto Dongmin. Rymazing doing Rymazing things. Almost escapes, but Delena cleans that up. Flame bringing back Dongmin for the fight.
Oh my god, Rymazing's too funny.
Point here, 100 Thieves gaining 70% now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a good, excellent call by 100 Thieves to not really overcommit in the previous fight, just using TTK and Delena and his shotgun. Able to find multiple with it. So excellent job with the Punisher so far. Sentinels in this upcoming fight have to still deal with Delena and his ult. And Yusher, again, like, there's not going to be anything to help deal with Delena, who has that 300 HP. And it's going to be hard to burn down, and especially with the character, you know, in terms of Yusher, who can connect onto people. And this character's a bit better in sort of that counter dive comp. There's going to be so much you have to worry about for 100 Thieves' side as they have to use these cooldowns to even break into this point as Oasis used the ult early. Hides it, Rymazing. Okay!
Oh!
They sneak in that ultimate from Rymazing into Delena's face.
Yeah, that was dirty. Even with so much pocket, there's not much you can do if you don't have crystals.
Oh, he canceled the
brutal,
too!
Rymazing trying to find even more. Crimzo finds one, now on the group. Rymazing with a second onto self. Witty gonna res back Millennia and use another one of these Karmic Revivals. Dogman gonna find a two-piece. Sentinels have not given up yet. 99 here for 100 Thieves, but the point will switch here. 50% on and climbing for Sentinels, who do have ults. Millennia and self to answer. But now it's all about, can you shut them down before that res comes through, or will it come back into fruition and push them into the first two map win situation?
What's we talked about, Chip? I mean, it's these surprise plays, you know, camouflaging your Rymazing Iron Man ult into
if Rymazing gets his ult and then combos with Crimzo, that's going to be fat, chat. And I'm talking about fat.
They can't go aggressive with the Mantis ult, but they have to deal with Crimzo. With the Strangling Prison. Last time Vinny missed his. Can Crimzo connect onto a massive one?
Oh! It is huge. Everybody goes down now. Oh my goodness. There will be no res. Yes, they're trying to track down the Atom. And there it is. They've got
you gotta get a TP going. Yo, can we get a TP going? Yo, Rymazing has ult, chat.
Coming. Can Vinny get there? Usually 10% is enough. It was roughly 9. The walls go up from Crimzo to try to slow the pace. Is it gonna land? It does not.
Oh, and the walls were such a great idea, bro. The wall. Hey, Crimzo. With Crimzo playing chess. While 100 Thieves was playing checkers, bro.
Coming back, like, obviously he's trying to get fastest to point with the portal, and you can't see it. So it's like a bit of a guessing game. But he throws down those Groot walls towards the main side as that portal gets stuck. So great job for me to notice that too. But there's been a lot of unique things happening so far in this map and in this series, and you know, I guess these two squads are probably the Team A and Team B that you would talk about doing this sort of wacky nonsense, and people wanted them to be doing it for weeks now, Shib. But finally, they're giving us the fans what we want, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm having a blast with this. I love this change in composition, the stuff that we're seeing here, right? So you notice there from the side of Crimzo, he saw those crystals get committed from Winnie. As soon as you see those greens, you know you can land that Strangling Prison. Throws it on the left side away from shields in a position that'd be kind of weird to throw a shield up, and he collides with everyone on the back of that Sia. Goodbye to the side of 100 Thieves, who committed every ult. Right now, again,
let's see what Rymazing's doing here, chat.
Yeah, we'll see if it can. I mean, you can block it on Vinny to go for that deflect, but for 100 Thieves, going for that full dive setup instead of running that Black Cat that's available. Delena going for that Psylocke play alongside the Daredevil. So they're doing something a bit more traditional, as well as having that Luna Snow that people talked about being super good. Everybody's kind of playing back towards the middle, playing towards the inside, trying to build up Oasis's ult, trying to play counter dive. So 100 Thieves want to surround, but they need that clean dive setup onto somebody. Otherwise, they're going to go down in the middle of it to Yusher, who's been nasty so far as Delena just tries to shoot tanks.
You know what? The clutch came through from Delena last time on Psylocke. Why not again here, folks? Delena going to be on that Psylocke, holding on. Dance of the Butterfly in any moment. There's that Sonic Seduction from Dongmin. So many ults available here from Sen. They need to win this early. Rymazing able to find Self through that chaos right there. Self, excuse me. So we see Vinny now on the off angle, trying to pressure that back line. I'm not sure that it's going to be some full commitment yet. It's heavily down in numbers. Rymazing finds another pick here. Oh my goodness, this Iron Man. Delena with 2 now. Winning. Come on, Delena finds 3. Back in their favor, and now 100 Thieves almost recap the point.
is still in control of the Sentinels, though. They commit that invisible boundary last second to keep.
Oh yeah, but that's huge.
But eventually get the lead.
Wait, why would they? Why would they use rocket ult?
Excellent work from Delena.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Never mind. I don't know.
Also forced out the invisible boundary that could set up Amazing. So in the middle of the fight, Rai could not connect onto his E cooldown to commit that overhealth.
Well, that's the fun's over. Chat. Amazing back on triple support.
Yet again, Sentinels have Amazing swap over to that triple comp with him back on White Fox.
Yeah, you know you're gonna lose that ult there, right? It goes to 50%, folks, and that's why switching with ult is a little tricky. But you know it's just a tough map to run Iron Man into this composition, especially with Delena trying to consistently keep eyes on you, and it found success. Flamay gonna start up here with the Sia. Is that gonna be enough? As Dongmin is back on the Penny now,
and they're on the Penny,
trying to do what they did early on in map 1. There's that Sia. Can they get value through? Crimzo able to find Self. The Sia still totally fine. Great positioning there by Flame. Wow, as Usher takes Vinny off map with the Glartrox, sends one up, but Vinny's right back in the fight, and now he pays for it as Millennia off maps after taking out Usher and resets with the team.
Oh my god, that was a lot of ults committed by Sentinels, and it almost felt like the Glartrox ruined it slightly. Like the Glartrox just went over those bumps like a motorcycle in a motocross event, like just bouncing. Eventually takes a couple people into lava, but they get those daggers. Brute ultimate not available for either side because of the previous one. Now they want to go aggressive again with this White Fox diving onto Vinny. Nice job to make for the tempo. They find him on the early rotation from 100 Thieves side, so excellent job. 100 Thieves now over to that Ultron comp off of that full dive setup because of the Penny Parker that we talk about maybe in those lower ranks. But this time, Sentinels, the slow Groot and Penny Parker duo is something that I think we didn't expect today, but it's been beautiful so far.
Interesting. I love how he's moving all his mines and everything to shut down the
just bunkering. This is the definition
to shut down the area that they're trying to go. Look at that, and he does it again. I really like it.
Sets up and just waits and protects this spawner with his life. TTK.
It's very smart. I like it.
Broken, or is at least terrified to take the damage. There's the commitment they had to launch out with the Rage of Ultron from Self. Delena gonna start up here with the final judgment, walking them through the point. They take that thing quickly as Sen tries to kite from the double combination here from Self and Delena. It looks like no one goes down, so really good kite. It's totally fine to lose the point there.
Oh, good disengage. They find the BRB, though. Delena reads it, zip lines up like 007 to find it. Usher
zip
does
lines
Vinny
up like 007.
So really good job to come back into it. He does have that drone on him, though, so he should be able to take the 1v1 without going down just yet, right? Though gets the pocket, though, from the Rocket Raccoon. Millennia not able to save Delena on that flank either, and with him removed, they don't have a lot of that damage. Although TTK does find Dongman off the map, does get that grab, also brings in the Groot.
Oh, the Groot lives!
To dive upon. Vinny trades back one, though, so again, that
does he do it again? Oh, the Groot lives again!
He goes down on the opposite side.
Oh my god, if I was TTK, bro, I'm smashing my controller, bro.
Crimzo, but everybody else falls.
Vinny lived. Oh, not Vinny. Crimzo lived twice.
The portal gets committed here from Sen, and that is
that's actually really bad.
They gotta get here.
That's bad.
The setup's going to be available from
Vinny. That's bad, chat. They use portal.
Thieves. Can they keep this pressure? No ults
available.
No. Can they touch, though, folks? The walls are up. 99%. The touch comes through. What a grab there. Winnie able to find Amazing, who reses back into the fight.
Touch.
Amazing back on the Iron Man, retaking position. Now the tackle comes through. The Carbon Crush finds some value as Usher now takes out Delena, and Sentinel say it's not over yet. The off map comes through. TTK.
TTK with the reverse chop and thrown off the map.
And now Sentinels look like they'll take this point. Oh my god.
I'm actually just like dying at that last one. How did he not use the jump in time? I think it was available for the side of TTK, but I guess
he grabbed somebody before. I think he grabbed somebody right before.
So that's a big kill. That's a big kill.
Dino Crime, 90% of the board though. Sentinels.
And Amazing is back to Iron Man.
Early, they'll have to come out in a moment with Delena, who could be the hero. Everybody needs to hard pocket him, though. Make sure they don't use these cooldowns too early because Rye's sitting above and could end them all TTK balls.
This could be huge. This all commitment could be massive. Crystals are gone. Gonna try to find a window to use this, breaking the rest of the crystals so they can't hide. Here it comes, likely in a moment. Laser instead. Usher are gonna find two. Rye takes out Self, and Sentinels take this map and take home game 1.
I cannot believe that Sentinels
game 1. Sentinels win on Dom, and in reverse sweeping fashion as well. I mean, Frozen Airfield, I think, was close. We started it off with the Penny Parker stuff, but those counter switches, those counter comps that you talked about, Chib, were the end of 100 Thieves, just being on the worst side of it at the very end. Usher as well made that Punisher swap, was a bit of a
I didn't vote on 100 Thieves for 2 weeks, chat, for 2 days. I mean, for 2 other matches. They finally convinced me that they are changed, and I started to trust them again, and they're just lying to me.
Number 2 after this short break.
It's not a curse. It's not a curse. Not a curse. Bro. 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 That's why I never vote with you. I have gotten every single prediction right today. There is no way 100 Thieves makes it my first L of the day. No. Also, put Rymazing on DPS, bro. Rymazing, there is a reason why he's the GOAT. And it's because Rymazing actually watches my stream and he tries to do what I do, chat, and that's why they're winning. If you can mimic a fraction of what Jay3 does, you can win. Yeah. Kitty Pity. Appreciate the massive new tier 1 sub. Absolutely insane. Welcome, welcome. Also, I just want to say, like, we've been talking about Rymazing, but Crimzo, dude, Crimzo's doing a really good job. And he's, a lot of people I've seen online hate Crimzo for some weird reason, but Crimzo used Groot, blocked off an entrance, delayed the portal 1 match. The next match, he tries to get thrown off the map twice. He doesn't get thrown off the map. He ends up throwing TTK off the map. And hey, he's doing a really good job. He's doing a really good job, man. I think Crimzo is hiding something under that hat he never takes off. Yes. I've known Crimzo for years, and I don't actually think I've seen him without a hat. Does anyone know what he's hiding under that hat? Definitely a little J3 under it. What does that even mean? Someone said a rat. What do you think this is? Ratatouille? You think someone's like playing, someone's pulling Crimzo's hair under the hat and playing for him, bro? Like, come on. Where's the bold and dangerous voiceover? You have to sub for it. That's where it's at. Gift sub. Sorry, it's a gifted sub. You should consider wearing a hat to cover that gigantic bald spot. Where? I don't have a bald spot. Where? I don't have a bald spot, bro. You guys are lying. You guys are just haters, bro. You guys are just haters because you guys wish you had what I had on my head. You know what? There's 3 minutes left in this break. I'm going to the bathroom. You guys don't deserve my presence. You guys are just mean.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Welcome back. Sentinels win our first map of the series, but what a map this was. About as close as it gets, you know, in classic 100 Thieves fashion. They make you think they win and then they don't, and everything gets into like, it's 100 tachycardias at this point. Like, it's not fun to be a 100 Thieves fan. It's definitely fun to be a Sentinels fan right now, because were the comps whack? Yeah. Will we see more of that from other teams? Probably not. Was this super entertaining? Absolutely. I loved what we saw from Sentinels. It was the counter switches, counter comping that really threw everyone on this server for a loop.
I'll tell you guys what.
Will they get away with more of that though?
If 100 Thieves does not
honest,
win,
I don't know if the comps are good.
if 100 Thieves does not win, I am going to give my cats a bath.
Well, Adam Rez bringing us back a few seasons here to what we saw in the meta. Yeah. It's been great to see, but then they switched off that. We saw Psylocke, we saw Punisher, we saw Iron Man. I mean, it's just been kind of all over the place. But we look at this MVP,
55 and 9. Look at this. Look at this chat. 55 and 9 and 40k damage.
Iron Man with those finals. That is just awesome to look at on the screen, dog.
Yeah, I mean, Rye on the Iron Man, literally every freaking tweet or X he posts just is with an Iron Man gif. So this dude at all times is trying to be the reincarnation of Tony Stark himself in a bit of a different way. Like, I feel like Rye, you know, so far was getting a lot of flack, I think, from the community. Even me, like, I feel like the flexibility hasn't been there.
Iron Man, or
but
at least
in
out
this
of
series, in this map, and when he's playing his comfort picks, I guess you can see the maximum capacity of Sentinels when they're able to play, you know, Penny Parker Iron Man stuff.
Sure, here we can look at the stats here, following up on what Dog was saying. You just look across the board, folks. 19 finals from Delena. There's a lot of pocket. They were running that team up there to get the extra damage boost for Delena on those crystals when they had the Mantis in play. Then obviously the switch over to Rocket. So just a ton of commitment there, ton of damage as well. 44k, most in the lobby. But then Yusher and Rye both in the mid-low 40s is already a decent enough answer to show just the amount of damage that was output right back at them, which is too much to handle as I headed into map 3.
Yeah, I got more popcorn.
Yeah, I think for Sentinel's side, like, if they want to keep this up, you know, obviously we have to keep countering 100 Thieves dive setup. But, you know, I'm just curious if, like, if this Iron Man stuff is going to be still good, you know, obviously on the next map once we see what that is. But, like, it's always going to be a banger between 100 Thieves and Sentinels. And you said it's something about the cardiovascular system for 100 Thieves, because every map they've had has just been a freaking close one, it feels like.
It's a tachycardias.
Tachycardias? Yes. Could we call them 100 heart attacks then? Is that a
exactly?
Is that a valid
let's go with that. The sweat mergens, as we know them as. Yeah, no, I mean, I hope the series just continues in this very fashion. You know, like seeing some pretty out there comps. Also, I loved seeing both of these teams also leaning towards that Rocket Raccoon in their compositions, which again, that's something we haven't really seen last week anything of. So this is the week, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like they're stepping up, right? It seems like Rocket's kind of coming back into the fold again. I think these teams are, you know, the question is which team are learning the meta more, you know, faster. But some teams are kind of picking it up as they go, or they're just not as comfortable running it. And when they go down, they feel like they need to run it, right? It's why win rates can be tricky on different heroes, even if you're not comfortable. And sometimes you're forced to switch to that hero. It kind of can mess with win rates. But you look over on map 2, 100 Thieves are looking at the Museum of Contemplation as the next one we go to.
I feel like for like 100 Thieves side, in terms of like what they've been doing, you know, it was working towards the end too. Like, they had their moments. At least they can't get off mapped by Devil Dino on Museum of Contemplation.
Let's see if 100 Thieves can tie up this series on their map pick, or if Sentinels is gonna run away with it or fly away with it if you're Iron Man. Now let's get the show going. Dogmanship, please take it away.
All right, buddy. This is one of those maps that a lot of the brawl stuff, the ammo could come into play. I don't know that we necessarily will see too much change in the ban phase, because I think both teams found success. It's just more so, you know, who could have clutched up at the end. It was really anyone's game on domination there, but I'm looking forward to seeing as we shift over towards Convoy, who's going to be running this.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think We'll probably be seeing a little bit more of it. The Gambit stuff's going to come through as we kind of enter the ban phase after the first couple bans and a protect. It just feel like the Gambit's been a must ban for both sides.
Mez, appreciate Master Prime sub. No, you cannot sub players mid-game.
The Rocket Raccoon stuff. The metas are always changing.
I don't think so. Unless maybe someone's internet crashes or like they lose power or
trying to get the Twitch drops right now today.
I don't think they would allow it to go 5v6. I don't know the rules on that. It's never happened.
Even after a few like tiny damage buffs to Rocket Raccoon, Phoenix, and Bucky, that can really throw the meta through a loop.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. You know, I don't know what we're gonna see right now. I think we could see the Penny again if Dino gets through. This is a totally fine Penny map for defense around that first corner. There's there's some angles to make plays. What's that?
I said you want the Penny to happen. We're gonna get the Penny Parker gonna maybe come through again, huh?
Well, it's just more so like you got to try to find. There's a lot of different solutions with Dino if you're in that kind of front to back battle stuff. Like Groot's not a bad answer. Walling off backline if they don't have a ton of damage or if they're running dive.
When's the next subathon?
Oh god! You can just wall off Dino, and there's really not a lot of wall breaks, so he has to force to use his jump to escape, and forcing out his barrier early. Then there's the Emmas. Where
funny enough, Emily and I talked about another subathon because this year is my 10-year streaming anniversary.
And then last but not least, you got the Penny, I guess, which after seeing the battle, looks like it's also incredibly strong, and I think it'd be really good on defense, maybe not as strong on offense.
Okay, I like it. And, you know, on this map, I feel like Museum's always been a bit more of a dive-centric sort of map, so we'll kind of see how the ban phase kind of comes through, but it does feel like this patch, at least, Chib, is slowed down a little bit with Devil Dino, right? Like, I feel like those cooldowns are so strong, and we enter the ban phase now with both Gambits getting removed.
Yeah,
yo, Deeper,
we're going to see a ban out, and then it's going to be the same story where I do think it'll be Dino, whether it's the Phoenix now, I'm not quite sure, maybe. Yeah, that's what I would have guessed. And then we're going to see the Dino match back. I don't think the ban phase compared to last match is going to change like at all.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. It did feel like the ban phase was totally fine. And you know, this mixes it up a little bit, right? Because I feel like these teams are focusing more on the strat line, or sorry, on the duelist line. Previous matches we saw a little bit more of the strat line. The Mantis, I think, wasn't focused on
for 22 days
for the other teams, but we know Sentinels likes to run it, so kind of makes sense, I guess, to focus it for Sentinel's side. But I don't know. What's your take on like the Luna bans that we saw in the last series? I think that was happening a little bit more alongside maybe even those Rocket bans. It seems like teams are allowing these sort of comfort picks to come through. Besides, I guess Black Cat now is banned for Sentinel.
Yeah, and then the Rocket save. I think this is they're kind of studying what we saw from game one, and then you know this might have been something they've been running in scrims for a while. I'm not saying they didn't have this in their bag, but yeah, I think the Luna ban has been really strong early on. But I think maybe that we might see that shift in placement from Luna to Rocket, enabling Luna more.
I don't think Shib, the guy on the left side, is sitting in the chair. I think he's standing.
Ton of escapability. So that maybe we'll see that shift in place. Like, you talked about how it was seen a ton in week one. I'm with you. Yeah, you're right. We haven't really seen it much today. As we see the cleanup here, Star-Lord in place is going to be the main focus there for Thieves for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they know that Sentinels want to get rid of it. You want to play it on your own side, I suppose, instead of playing the Punisher stuff. It's a bit more flexible. But then we had to switch up to Elsa and stuff. I don't think 100 Thieves wanted to do that. They were more opting towards the Punisher stuff. We get that one-sided Rocket, though, because it's not protected on the side of 100 Thieves. So, I don't know. I mean, one-sided Star-Lord versus one-sided Rocket. I guess which one is kind of going to be more impactful? Because it does feel like there's a bunch of, I guess, good alternatives for the strat line still, right?
Yeah, there's definitely good alternatives. It's just more so you also lost the combination there. I think when you have the Star-Lord Rocket, it's really good. The Punisher Rocket's also really good. You know, we heard from Forky actually on that interview. The idea is you wait till you hear a straddle, and then you combine with Rocket with whatever combination it is going to be between those two, and you burn right through it, and you get a 2-for-1, you get a KO, and you move forward and try to force out more as we head into our second matchup, between these two teams. That first one was a doozy.
Okay, so you're liking that sort of get the Rocket Raccoon. We're fine with the duelist ban so far, and I think I'm a little bit with it.
Let me see what I did for my.
It seemed good so far. Swamp Gaming, obviously, they got that in the previous
Jay3
or on the second map when we went to Convergence.
What did I do?
This map obviously a little bit different, but Chip, looks like we're gonna get your wish. We're gonna see another Penny Parker play out of Dongman. One of the only pros to really want to do it that often. I think he was getting criticism after one of his matches. People were like, "Why is he going live immediately after his match, streaming only Penny Parker gameplay?" Well, I guess we have our answer.
Dongmin making it work here. And I do think in this meta, it's, you know, this is the time where Penny does take a step forward that maybe a lot of us, including myself, kind of didn't really see until we start right now and get eyes on some of the pro play. That's why pro play is so fun to watch. Self going to be on that Punisher. Punisher being a mainstay right now because, you know, similar counters to things like Groot and Dino is just raw damage. If you're able to get that raw damage, it works out. You see the push forward. They go right through mines.
Oh, shit. I got
no major worry just yet. This might be, if it's not successful early on in this corner from the Penny, we might see the removal of the
hopefully
Penny
this is another repeat.
Outside of that, but we'll see what that looks like in a moment.
Anonymous Gifter, appreciate it. Get up. I hope this is another repeat of what we just lost. Saul chat, a close game.
Dongman is trying to live. You know, meanwhile, they have to give up so much space, so much ult charge. Yusher went down early to Vinny, too much damage coming out with the damage boost from the Mantis of the Millennia. And because they're running the 2-2-2 stop comp front to back style, it's actually been able to give them a ton of space in terms of that damage output from this group.
Yeah, good movement here. Vinny does have that prison available. Doesn't use it just yet. Tries to get the Ironwood down. It's a massive ultimate here. Can they clean up? No, they cannot. Goodbye, Vinny. As Yusher cleans that up off the back of the Sia combination. Immediately gets deleted.
I would have put that.
Nice Sia.
I would have put that a little behind you, but
TTK going to walk forward quickly with the Psionic Seduction through the wall. Great movement. TTK is not going to be able to find much here. Self now tries to clean up off the back of that combination, and neither of which are going to find much. And I might have spoke too soon. No, I did not. That's 2 for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, this is excellent movement. I think we would have seen a bit more aggressive play if that was Delena with the ult. Yusher on the opposite side, lived with 1 HP.
I do like the penny pick, man. The penny pick is actually very interesting.
Now we come back.
I like it.
Oh my goodness, they literally Yusher in the middle of his ult. Millennia with the Mantis able to come back as well, as they don't have any other straddles. Unfortunately, Rai doesn't have his just yet, and Self and the rest of 100 Thieves off of Millennia's ult, able to find those KOs towards that cart and get it moving into the second phase of the map. That was a bit of a stagger towards the very end, but 100 Thieves, again, they get into the second phase with this composition. Now they get to move it forward with 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Sentinels, at least they're coming up with that White Fox ultimate to help peel off Delena on this
chat,
stalwart.
I don't think Rai Mazing,
you know, these neutrals have been tough versus the Mantis that you mentioned earlier, and we've talked about it. Sentinels like to play the Mantis comps. 100 Thieves look to take advantage of their own.
Yeah, I think we're still kind of working through that answer. The question you mentioned before, is the Rocket or is the Star-Lord more
also,
worth it?
this is very interesting.
To be very strong still.
100 Thieves is running
Legend, right?
the
Loki
Vinny,
and
the Mantis.
And that's going to put Sentinels up on the defense for the moment. They got pushed through pretty quickly there with
that is
4
very
minutes still on the clock.
Well, that was a big force physics from Oasis that pulled in Millennia. He went a little bit too far and, you know, a bit aggressive in that last fight. Sometimes being a bloodthirsty strategist can bite you in the butt in that last fight, though. 100 Thieves, you know, they do have ultimates available. Rai also sitting with the White Fox Soul can counter a lot of them. But again, 100 Thieves totally fine playing it slow. Again, waiting, like you said, for those straddles. This time it's Oasis to find Vinny early on, but that's see you later, though.
Yeah, like, it's difficult to run Fox into a poke comp this heavy because those ults, like, you know, the Final Judgment and the Galactic Legend in the sky are really difficult to sustain through when you're on Fox, because you can't deal a lot of that damage to heal yourself. So we'll see if that is enough of an answer, but it might just be more of an aggressive ultimate. There it is, Rai Mazing going to start off early to try to counter Delena, and that's going to be the solution. Now the team's just going to dance together, forcing out a few ultimates. Flamay able to escape in that moment in a crucial dash to get inside of that boundary before the end, and they found their answer. Self now going to start off with the Final Judgment, walking the team down indoors. Crystals get committed now from the side of 100 Thieves as Self takes out Oasis, and
she jumped
Dongman,
right back up into her death, bro.
Dongman is no longer on that penny.
Yeah, it's like you said. I mean, they're waiting out these straddles for, you know, Rai Mazing gets the lead in the White Fox. Oasis used the invisible boundary, but after those, it's pretty much over for them. And, you know, we've seen other teams, I think, run this, like, Loki sort of combo with the Rocket this time. Rai showing Iron Man for a second, going back over to the White Fox. And, again, 100 Thieves, they have now their Vanguard ultimates. We can go aggressive with Vinny, too, who is now on to his own Devil Dial, although gets his ult canceled by a CC on the opposite side as we come in with a Psionic Seduction from Dongman just to create a little bit of space.
It goes out again. Rai Mazing, Yusher, Crimzo all get a piece of the pie here.
TTK popped his ult and there's already 2 down.
It won't last long. This is dropping very low in pace for it. Oasis cleans that up. Now a reset attack, but still, again, 2 minutes on the clock. It's only been half since the last check-in.
It's been hard front to back so far. You know, we do have that Rocket ult in this fight. We'll see if 100 Thieves, again, want to wait it out early, delete it, and then come back in with the Mantis ult. They do have that Loki still and Self onto that Ultron. So, again, playing hard around Delena in this upcoming fight. Punish ultimate available for Yusher. Pops out with the see you later. Can they find the KOs early? Green's out. Does keep this front line healthy. And can't find the KOs. Mantis ult not enough to keep him alive, though. The shotgun comes out and Self with the laser beam from across the map takes out Yusher.
Yeah, and we're still trying to discover, like, I mean, now they're both on, you know, you see there the Emma, right? As we see Crimzo finds Winnie, makes it a 2-piece. Goodbye, Delena. Rai Mazing taking out Millennia. It's a clean sweep there, not committing too much. Just going to be some follow-up from Crimzo and Yusher. They're still building Oasis and Rai Mazing. But again, yeah, off the penny now onto the Emma. The question still remains, who's the best combo? It seems to be just comp-dependent, map-dependent, and specific location-dependent.
Man,
as we can already see some
Sentinels is doing a really good job at holding right now, but like...
Walk it up now. We do have Vinny. You can go aggressive with his ult. Get that bleed onto everybody.
It's not fun when Rai Mazing's not on DPS, man.
Advantage for them. Pops the Dino on the opposite side. Delena comes through with the follow-up. Everybody avoids it, though. Nice job disengaging it. Bit of a bait on their side. Oasis now pops a late invisible boundary, keeps Crimzo healthy last second, so they're all still in the fight at the moment, but you got that copy in a moment from Winnie. Self wants to pop out the Ultron in the sky with the damage boost on them, but can they find the KOs onto Usher? He gets that support from Amazing. The BRB on the left side, they have to get rid of it. Gets moved last second. Nice job to keep that cooldown up from Flameng.
Yeah, really smart play there. There's that commitment now. It's just a full rush after the back and forcing out cooldowns. Can they get a pick here? Delena walking forward, using that shoddy right to the dome of the Dino, but is not 2 times multiplier, only 1.5 on a dome that big, much like Jet. There's the pick, though. Usher falls down first. Delena able to start them up a number. Here goes the commitment now from Flamey, who's walking them forward with the Sia. TTK.
Ooh, nice hold by TTK. Okay.
But off the back of there is no picks just yet. Crystal gets popped, 25% of that HP removed. Goodbye, Millennia. Vinny, find 2. Usher trades 1. Delena under Amazing. It looks like this will now be a good attack, but Usher gets another pick here. Self still holding. Oasis trying to maintain presence on point, but no.
Wow. Yes, what an overtime, bro. They almost had that.
There's a few things in that fight that kind of happened that resulted in Sentinels losing. Obviously, it was a really good engagement by 100 Thieves.
Their product for 66 months. How you doing, my friend?
Sentinels. Obviously, that right side peak angle ended up panning out for Delena over Usher, who had to come from that left side angle. You usually see these defenses on second phase kind of take those respawns and then force back to that right side for that advantage on those right side angles for your Punisher player. But obviously, you can't get that if you're the side of Usher, who's peeking right to left. But then again, 100 Thieves take advantage of that upcoming fight, which was overtime. And now last second, and Delena has the ult available. Also gets that damage boost, but Green's out early from Winnie. No shot ults to help follow this up, but Sentinels, again on the Moon Knight, to play front-to-back style, mixed up this team a little bit early ult from Oasis.
Yeah, we can see there's the commitment this time from Usher. What a pick there. Finds 2, actually. Goodbye, Millennia and Delena. Their idea is to hold this point really early. Buy them more time. Give them a better chance at pushing through, as point 3 is very difficult to attack the entire way. Dropping back now as a unit, not committing much there. Oasis and Usher, as they still hold on to 3. Flamey going to be close behind for the 4th. You see Vinny, TTK, Delena, Self, Winnie, and Millennia all should have ults in this fight. Oh, Amazing! Says Judge.
Hey, Amazing back on the DPS.
Oh no, 2 telegraph from Delena. Excellent read by Amazing. Brings him in, removes that Punisher, and yeah, I mean, Jesus, good fight for them. Sentinels do use a lot, though, committing that Dino in the previous fight. 3 seconds, somebody has to touch last second. It's going to be TTK, so he'll be gone out of the fight. Actually, Winnie goes to the copy onto that cloaking dagger.
Oh, nice survivability from TTK. He took the little water and jumped up, and he didn't die.
So they can touch last second, but Flamey does have the see you later. Throws it out there. Do they have the damage follow-up? They do so far into 1.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2-piece there. 100 Thieves are dropping like flies right now. So we see the commitment on the hold. Right now, Usher is going to find another pick. Oasis cleans up on Self. The touch comes through. This is not going to last long, yeah, as the hold is finally there for Sentinels. But, folks, 2 points pushed is a ton of space. A lot of teams being held before point 2 on this map. Will the defensive side of 100 Thieves be able to work out?
Yeah, I mean, the cardiac thieves are back. I mean, these guys just are still in the hearts of their own fans and others at the same time, and then smashing them into pieces at different occasions, right? So 100 Thieves, I mean, in their case, they need to keep this together because, like, towards the very end, they did a good job forcing Sentinels towards that side, but I was kind of wondering this Invisible Woman pick, and I want to see your take on it, Shib, because it feels like it's a bit of a difference in terms of how it's played.
Why are you guys saying it's Joe? Believe in 100 Thieves, bro. That was a really good push. Not a lot of teams even get past first, let alone second. Yo,
yeah, it's weird, right? Because
why are you guys giving me, oh, we lost first fight, forfeit vibes?
Protection potential, off-angle potential, using those shields. Obviously, the invisible boundary is a massive ultimate. But yeah,
you guys are giving me forfeit vibes.
In terms of the ban phase, just because there's so much more threats right now. And I would argue Oasis, at least so far, out of a lot of these strategists, is getting the most value out of Invis that I've seen yet over these past few days that I've cast. I think, you know, we might see more of that in the future. There's some answers that have come into play, as Dino is another answer to Invis if you're not playing incredibly smart, because if you apply that bleed, it's very difficult to go Invis, then you track down on the chase and you chomp out of the ultimate and you commit together. But if you're discussing on Invis, you see that coming, you try to protect against it, you play outside of your ultimate, and I think that's what we're seeing here from Oasis, who's also playing aggro with that offensive side. So you know what, man, it's really kind of just some strong play right now from Oasis, which I think we needed to see.
Yeah, excellent points. I think that he's been nasty with the Dongman, by the way. Flanking real quick, setting up some Penny Parker mines, a bit of a cheese spot. That's the fallback angle. So
Amazing.
Back to your head for 100 Thieves. Do you want to fall back
the
over
attack
there?
Penny in.
Amazing Iron Man. Green's out
the
early.
Iron Man.
Anybody go down to those mines? No, it's Crimzo. The Dino gets shut down by Delena with that Assault rifle, though, he's brought back by a BRB. So everybody's still here on the side of Sentinels. There's just one cooldown.
Wait, where's Emily? Emily should be watching this because she likes playing Iron Man. This is literally how you play Iron Man. Oh, and there's a Penny, so she likes playing Penny too.
Down. Here's Amazing. Takes out Vinny. TTK on a Crimzo. Self gonna find Usher, though, as you see Self is back on that Adam. So that composition's coming back into play with Winnie on the Loki. Might see the copy up there. The damage boost very much going to be on Zelena 24/7. When those crystals get committed, when you do have that team up, when you see the backline of the Guardians, like you just deal so much damage to this front line. So this front to back comps are bringing me back here, buddy.
Yeah, and Vinny, by the way, switched over to the Venom because he wanted to get back fast, I imagine. But now, I mean, usually Mr. I'm back fast is Jitward. In this fight, it's Vinny in this upcoming cart. Gets grabbed from the sky, but everybody's still healthy because we got Loki on the side who got that healing buff, that patch, sending with the greens. Those cooldowns are removed. So that maybe sets up Rye with this Sky, Invisible Boundary, and Ultimate.
Yeah, we're likely going to see Rye potentially off angle before the commitment of Ultimate, or use it right into the Sia, or the Born Again.
Oh!
Amazing! And the res comes through for
Rye amazing, baby! Rye amazing!
Find a Penta. It's going to be a Quadra instead. Wow! What an Ultimate here by the Iron Man.
And we got a high-speed pursuit chase onto this.
Rye amazing, man. Rye amazing. Rye amazing is making this game so much more fun.
We'll have that res.
Put him on DPS. Not only DPS, chat, he is on Iron Man, a character that we don't actually see a lot.
So this portal comes out. So Winnie's going to go down with the Soul Bond to keep everybody healthy from here. Does Self want to use the res to bring back Winnie to the fight? The answer is no. It's Delena getting enough value with the damage boost to take down Dongmin with these.
Oh, poor guys in the corner. Oh, nice ult.
But will any more find KOs on 100 Thieves side as they fall back?
Yeah, a lot of commitment here. So we can see Oasis starting up, Usher, Dongmin, everybody trying to take control of this point. Self with a big res now on an off angle, likely to even the odds a bit, give them some overhealth on the retake, and they're up numbers already. Vinny's going to be back in the fight. Crimzo does have ultimate available, and that's going to be the only one committed early enough. So there's going to be no Dino to match still from 100 Thieves as Vinny has to use that portal to get back with the team. And there's Crimzo running right towards that back line. You see Millennia's positioning, staying far away, dealing a ton of damage, and getting some of those abilities back. Usher finds Selena, and that's going to be the first number up here for Sentinels. Can they get this push through with a minute on?
Yeah, the no rocket pick has been biting 100 Thieves in the butt, literally and figuratively, with the Dino in the game because, you know, they don't have that BRB to bring back one person in these fights. Those reses have been
nice,
picked. But once
nice. That was a good hold. That was a good hold. 3 minutes, though. 3.5 minutes for this phase.
Bit off the clock there from Sentinels, right? 100 Thieves now 3 minutes into 3 minutes into second phase. So a bit of a slowdown on their side from first point. Vinny's back over to that Devil Dino as well, and they switch things up again, back over to the Ultron triple composition. Delena going to be back over to the Star-Lord, helping counter maybe this Sky Iron Man that worked on domination. So it might actually enable 100 Thieves again. If they get this first fight win, that'd be huge. Maybe you can get some cheese play with Flamme and then see you later, get those KOs in the middle of it.
Oh, there's another Maximum Pulse. This is not going to find value. Crystals will be burned, though, and that's going to be some cooldowns out. Going to keep walking forward. Winnie, excuse me, goes low. Going to burn some of these clones now as the momentum is very much in Sen's favor. You can just feel the momentum right now as Crimzo is driving them back to the spawn door. You can see 100 Thieves playing very smart and defensive, waiting for the team before the re-engage. This is exactly what you're looking to do, folks. Make sure you're taking this into ladder. Don't just go in there and try to be a hero. I promise you, you aren't that guy. As we see the walk forward now. Out goes the Psionic Seduction, looking towards the backline. Rye amazing away, able to walk away, giving them the space they need. TTK is driving forward. Nobody gets tranced, though, and the fight begins.
And we have others on the other side. I mean, Yusha's been big. Same thing with Dongman on the other side, but Invisible Boundary goes aggressive from Millennia. Keep everybody healthy here. Crimzo goes down. In fact, the BRB will bring him back, though. As long as he used some ultimates, the one is coming up on his own. Winnie now pops the counter Invisible Boundary. Also, Ultron's Rage available in the sky. Sentinels have nothing. They have to disengage and live. But there's going to be so much damage in a moment once the line builds up this ult. They have everything else, unless something goes incredibly wrong for 100 Thieves. They have so
I'm surprised they didn't pop Ultron there. If they popped Ultron and everyone's grouped up down there, they would have killed them all.
Repositioning these drones, still holding time. Nice shot, nice shot. What a shot there, looking for a second. Great utilization of cooldowns. Notice the movement, the descend and ascend and descend, excuse me. As we see there, the Ultron, you gotta make sure those are bound. You gotta be using that vertical movement to your ability to dodge some of the focus from the projectile and hit scan. And that is going to be a nice retake. And again, 1 minute and 20 seconds on. Ult advantage in favor of 100 Thieves for this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with how the series has been going, 100 Thieves on their defensive hold, I mean, they've been really doing a good job kind of coming back into these fights when they feel like they're almost lost. Ultron's Rage, though, again, cooldown management, keeping it up. Disengaged by Sentinels. Everybody living from it. so far, but at least you maybe made some cooldowns at the very least. You have the right side flank angle. Yusher wins it against Delena, who went inside. Shotgun to the face from Yusher.
Yeah, and this is still... Oh, what a shot there from Yusher onto Self. Goodbye. Sentinels walking forward. Crimzo commits now with a rampage. Tries to find one. Pulls the dino. Back and forth. Goodbye to Vinny. What a tackle there. Oh, and here comes a good combination. Doesn't look what it does. Come on, Amazing. Goodbye to Lena again.
Chat, 100 Thieves might be in trouble. 100 Thieves might be in trouble. Oh, no, this is a good portal. This is a good portal.
Who's on the change into Invis.
Oh, 1 second, Learn.
Vinny Dogman onto Self and Yusher again, and that will be point 2. Will
Yo!
they be able to take
Don't
this
say no, 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 no. There's no way.
That cart is right there towards the very end. This choke point, or not even really a choke point. I mean, it feels like this is going to be a tough fight for 100 Thieves no matter what. They switch to full stall.
Yo, Learn,
appreciate
the massive 30 months. You inspired me. I've been playing all the Resident Evil series, and I've done 1 to 3 pros so far. I started 4 yesterday. Oh, dude, Resident Evil's a good franchise. And also, yeah, you're going to love it, bro. You're going to love it.
Sentinels are going to get the edge of the group stage over them unless something comes out for 100 Thieves. An absolute miracle in this Spider Venom comp.
I followed Jay3 for betting tips and turned money into a life lesson. Thank you.
Spider-Man right now. Gonna get back to this point just to stall it should it need, as we see the invisible boundary committed from both sides. Yusher's able to drop TTK. They're up a number now, folks. Millennia combines up.
No way,
uses
no way,
the
no
boundary
way, no
to
way.
answer, and there's another solution to slow the pace. Dogman trying to find backline, not able to make them move just yet. Dogman does find Self though. Goodbye to the Spider-Man. Another number goes down.
Predicting 100 Thieves to ever win another game in my life.
Amazing in the sky, burning
Never.
through. Goodbye to Venom. The numbers
Never.
are falling, and the
I waited 2 games. No.
Will they push it through right now? It looks like they just might. They do.
I predicted against 100 Thieves twice because I needed them to earn my respect. They earned my respect, and I voted for them to. And guess what? They threw my respect out the window, chat. They threw it out the window. I am never voting 100 Thieves again. They ruined my perfect prediction. They ruined my perfect prediction.
And from some very unique compositions that definitely no other teams are doing.
I was right every single prediction until Sentinels, bro. 100 Thieves. Flork 100 Thieves, man. They ruined it. Wait. Not only did they ruin it, wait a minute. $10 million. $10 million from 500 people.